All right, so we just took a look at different kinds of physiological processes that occur within plants and how they interact with the environment. And one process that we didn't mention in the last little video cast, was this process here where oxygen is brought into the plant and carbon dioxide comes out. And this is kind of demonstrated here in the root, but does happen throughout the plant. And this process is respiration. And respiration is utilized or is needed to harness chemical energy and transfer it to ATP, which then can shuttle that energy to various processes that require metabolic energy. And so we'll be seeing ATP in some of the things that we'll be looking at, such as nutrient uptake and passing nutrients through the membrane, photosynthesis. Respiration itself requires a bit of input from ATP as well. However, transpiration does not require ATP directly. All right, so then we took a look at various parts of the plant anatomy, and now we're going to transfer into the next level, which is the tissue system level of the hierarchy. So these are tissue systems, and the tissue systems are found within each of the plant organs. So you can see over here that we're looking at the leaf. Here we're looking at the stem here, a cross-section of the stem. We're looking at a transverse section of a root here. And so these are the three tissue systems that we're interested in talking about here. The dermal tissue system is a system of basically cells. This is color-coded blue to correspond with this outer layer that you see on all three figures here. Kind of connect those back up here. So basically the leaf has an epidermis, which it can or in many cases has an outer coating of waxy cuticle to help prevent water loss. The stems have an outer epidermis, and roots have an epidermis, sometimes connected or many times connected to root hairs. All right, so that's that protective outer coat. And sometimes the epidermis can be impregnated with suberin or some other, which is another kind of substance that helps prevent water loss. The vascular tissue system is color-coded purple here, just like we see in the figure. And so again, we're looking at leaves here, showing in leaves where the vascular tissue is in the form of veins. And in this leaf, we can see the veins have that net-like pattern. So these are for eudicots. A monocot, such as an onion or a lily, would have parallel veins rather than this net-like formation. In the stems, that purple area there in the transverse section shows us the vascular bundles. So the vascular tissue is arranged in bundles. And just to be clear, we're talking about both xylem plus phloem. And there's a couple other kinds of cells that we would find supporting xylem and phloem tissues, which are also called tracheary elements collectively. And then in roots, the vascular tissue is in a cylinder. Oops, C-Y-L, there we go. Also referred to as the steel. And then finally, all three of these plant organs contain ground tissues. And ground tissues are basically anything that's not dermal tissue or not vascular tissue. And so it's basically a tissue that supports, it's metabolic tissue, it's for storage, that kind of thing. So in the leaves, the ground tissue system is called the mesophyll. And again, this is orange color coded to go with this sort of orangey yellow part of the figure. The stems contain in eudicots two areas of ground tissue. One is called the cortex, which is out here on the periphery. I'll just kind of make little X's here to show cortex. And then the other is in the very center of the vascular bundle, or the vascular cylinder, which is the pith, another type of ground tissue. And then if we're looking, again, this is for a eudicot, if we're looking at a monocot, we'll see shortly here that these vascular bundles aren't in a ring or cylinder shape. They're scattered throughout the stem. And then in roots, the ground tissue system is referred to again as, whoops, let me move that down. The ground tissue system is referred to as cortex. Let's see here. All right. So that takes care of our plant anatomy. The reason that these figures are here at the top is just as a reminder of what developed from mosses to angiosperms, which was vascular tissue. So once vascular tissue evolved, there was a large diversification in the kinds of plants that we find.